And we are live. Hi guys, this is Praios and I'm a professional gambler, and as I'm not allowed to play poker anymore, at least not on the side I used to
I don't know,
play,
whatever strategic reasons.
we got to review someone else to keep our poker game sharp, although not sure how important it is for me, as my poker career probably is close to over. But yeah, still having fun doing these reviews, and who is better suited than the best poker commentator, or at least one of the best. So let's watch another session of Phil Galfond. And yeah, if you watch this on YouTube, remember that you can only see me live on Twitch, so follow me there too, please. And yeah, if this content helps you at least a bit, consider liking, subscribing and stuff. This helps me a lot and also ensures that you don't miss any of my future videos. And very, very important, don't forget to click the bell icon as well if you subscribe. Okay. After this is now done, let's jump into the video from Phil Galfond, where he is playing heads up.
Looks like, yeah, we are at 127 now, so unfortunately we're not very close to that giveaway. Tomorrow I
really, really hope that no one will sit on the direct left of Phil, because in that case we will have a problem with the chat window. Okay, let's move on.
we'll make up a new giveaway, so for the same number probably, but I'll let you know.
Okay, starting with 3-bet pot. Yeah, decent flop for Phil, backdoor flush draw, overpair, gut shot, so he at least have to call at least once.
What it is. I mean, it's still obviously possible that we jump back up to 168. We're at 127. It only takes, what is that? Six tablers, 6.5, 6 tablers. So here, easy call of the 3-bet. I do have to peel this flop. I have only 6 like good outs, but I could have the best hand as well. And there are turns like this where I don't really want to bet this hand, but I get checked to a lot, so I get to realize my equity. It would not be a terrible hand to bet because there's like not a ton of air on this board, but I'd rather choose something with a 9 in it.
Yeah, like his reasoning, like his check. 8 is a good card. I would definitely value bet. Can extract some value. I mean, you are ahead most of the time, and aces and kings might call the river bet, so I would definitely value bet if check 2.
Check 2 very quickly on this river, which I'm going to take to mean air. Or like 9-6. I'm gonna go for some value. I don't know exactly. It's kind of thin at least.
Tricky question what the sizing should be. Yeah, not sure about this. Also, none of the programs on the market has river sims, but yeah. Just my personal opinion. Half pot on a paired board after the action went as it did seems fine to me.
But I block 9-6. I think people usually think a little bit before they check Jack 9 or 10-10.
Phil should do something with his background. This is not looking too great. Use a green screen or something. Or get like something that he can place in front of his, what is this, kitchen?
Cool. So he had... That's not showing. Ace, Ace, Queen, 6.
Yeah, okay, that's a
which
reasonable
is
call.
kind of what I expected and hoped for. Not an unreasonable call by him. I have a lot of hands that I can turn into bluffs there. Check called flop against 60% pot or so.
Seems very reasonable so far. Oh, that's a good river. Value bet or check? Ooh. I think he's ahead most of the time. Is a king or ace high flush for checking back turn? Maybe. Low frequency. Yeah. His opponent might have a pot controlling hand. His opponent has a flush. He gets the same amount if he's checking and to check call. His opponent made a straight. He might have checked behind, but you probably get called. Well, that's a really tough one. Let's see what Phil does.
And on this run out, so I do have...
I personally would value bet.
Some bluffs, of course. Unfortunately, I block a lot of calling hands. I'm going to make a kind of weird play and check. So the fact that he's betting for protection a lot on the turn means that he's betting a lot of like Jack 7 and Jack 3 on the turn. So he's going to lose those hands that can potentially call me. So what I want to do is check and then see if I can get a sizing tell. And I'm hoping that this means a thinner value bet because I think that the top...
Okay, that's very exploitative play. There's probably no GTO to raise this one, but I like his reasoning. I don't find it unreasonable. I mean, he could run into a king high flush, also in an ace high flush occasionally, but yeah, you might also get a crying call from a lower flush that now feels like it has to call because yeah, he showed a lot of weakness and he has top of his range, blah blah blah. Phil might be bluffing. So yeah, I don't hate it if he's check raising.
Two flushes can pot it, so I'm going to go for check raise, thin check raise for value. But against larger sizing, I would have check called. Obviously, like as I'm talking to you guys on stream, and you know you're going to be playing against me as well, I have to be careful there because those are not super exploitable, but somewhat exploitable things to do, or at least...
Yeah, definitely exploitable if you check raise your queen high flush against a smaller sizing. I mean, yeah, but I think in general, Phil does a very good job adjusting to different opponents.
To lean into super heavily like I like to do sometimes if I am not telling people what I think about them. But yeah, I think that works quite well.
Yeah, streaming definitely is a huge disadvantage, but he's promoting his side run at once. And this also are not stakes that matter too much to him, so this should not be the problem. But yeah, definitely, if you're playing someone and he sees every single hand you have and you don't know for most of the hands, he at least if he's a good player, can make way better decisions than you are. Yeah, that's a good hand. If checked, I would value bet, or I'd bet at least. Checking back is also not the worst play. I mean, it's actually okay. Yeah, I would size 3/4 and not half pot.
This hand's high equity. It's going to be a bet. I think this board's kind of low frequency, so I'm going to size up a little bit, but I am kind of haphazardly choosing sizings. If I were not talking and just focusing, I would probably, well, do a little bit better choosing sizings, but also, that said, I think people are way too concerned with choosing sizings. I think that's probably something that that a lot of players out there way overreact to. Not only like how much time they spend if you're like a player who studies a lot, learning the right sizings in each spot, but also
Not sure if people actually spend that much time in learning sizings. I mean, it's also not that difficult. You have like 3-4 different things. I mean, actually, it's a bit more difficult if you do it for every street, but yeah, on the flop, basically everyone now, at least from the good regs, does the sizings which are recommended by the two solver products on the market, PLO Vision and PLO Trainer.
when you know the quote unquote right sizings in a lot of these spots, and then you play against somebody who uses a wrong sizing or like always uses a different sizing, you just think that you can't lose because they just can't possibly be good, and you're using the right sizing, they're using the wrong size.
Ooh, that's a tough one too. I wouldn't hate if Phil folds.
So you're going to beat them. When in reality, like, yeah, it's a spot where you would have an edge because you're using a better sizing strategy, but it just doesn't contribute that much EV. I mean, if they're using like terrible sizings, it does hurt their EV. But if they're actually thinking players who are playing well, just not choosing the optimal sizing for whatever reason, either because lack of study or because, you know, they just opt not to for, I don't know, whatever strategic reasons.
It's probably a GTO call on the turn, but yeah, it really sucks. This hand is like so weak on the turn. Has almost no potential to improve. And yeah, you are in a very tough spot if getting double barreled. Now also so many draws missed. Other than 4-6, nothing got there. So if calling the turn, you might consider calling river without any reads.
This is a tough spot. I unblock a lot of bluffs. Against this size, I just feel like he'd bluff a little bigger on this run out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just trying to rep 2-pair and bluff that size. So that could have been a call. I know I only have 1 pair, which doesn't put me very high in my range, but I didn't block flush draws and barely blocked the higher straight draw.
If calling turn, I definitely call river here. And as he already explained before, I wouldn't read too much in the sizing and call. But I would be chicken anyways and would have folded the turn already.
Draws, and there were some lower straight draws that missed as well. And also back to focusing on the heads up table. This is a close one. I am in a 3-bet, but I think it's pretty cuspy, like Jack 10, 8.
I think that's probably not a 3-bet.
6 is close. Jack 10, 8, 7 is definitely a 3-bet. So I'm not exactly sure.
Let's look this up. So we got our PLO trainer here. So let's just choose this. We are heads up. Raise, and we got to decide if we should re-raise. Re-raising percentage is about 18%, but I think that's not in there. But I might be wrong. That's why we are looking on this tool to say. Double suited. Can't see what I put in there, so that's how you do it. And Phil is right, that's a 3-bet. And according to PLO Trainer, it's way better to 3-bet than to call. As you can see in the EVs, this is minus 0.14 for the call and 0.19 positive if you 3-bet. So I was wrong, Phil is right. By the way, I got referral links for both PLO Trainer and PLO Vision if you want to get your game to the next level, I would definitely recommend to sign up for one of these to get the optimal solutions and use this as a basic guideline if you play against unknowns or against good thinking player, and you can always adjust against weaker opponents or if you have a specific read. But this is always a good guideline what the solver does. And if you are lost, just do what the solver does. And that's also in general a good idea. I mean, if you can play like the solver, nobody will beat you in the world. So enough of the advertising. Let's move on.
Checking this flop, which I'm going to do quite a bit of. Limp 4N. Or
Let's see. So re-raise, call, 4-5 deuce. So we got this board. So sizing is 1/3 on this one in 3-bet pot. And first question is, should Phil continuation bet? I think the answer is probably no. Check 10, 6, 7. We got spades and hearts, let's say. And filters. Check 100%. Okay, so check. His sizing is not that what the solver suggests, but let's check for the... I mean, for this sizing, it's obviously an easy call with 10-7, 6-7, 10 jack. I mean, that's not even a question. Yeah. Should go for the re-raise if you got the flush draw too, but also call some. All the other things are calls. For this sizing, this is actually a lot closer. But with the backdoor flush draw too, you probably have to call once and see what happens on the turn. Let's see what Phil does.
is that Limpan? Stream is literally perfect. IMO heads up or 6-max PLO is my favorite to watch as well, so no need to change anything. Thank you very much. I am still like trying to... This is going to be a call, which I can talk about in a moment. And I think it's going to be a jam into him. It's...
Oh, that's... I mean, this can't be a big mistake. Let's see if we got more sims, and we are running out of sims. So... he will look this up in Vision. Hopefully we got this one. So we are 100 BB, 6 max, 3-bet pot, trade board. That's the one. It's single suited, turn. So let's do it with back. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's the action. Called. We got this. Now it's on us. This is the other program. Before we saw PLO Trainer, and this is PLO Vision. This is, by the way, the program from Phil's side from round once. 6, 7, 10 jack. And yeah, seems like it's not a donk. And if you are donking, you are also donking for a different sizing according to this program. So yeah, this was messed up by Phil. But yeah, I would also be lost in this situation. So yeah, not gonna lie to you. I think jamming from the front is also not too bad. Oh, also made a mistake. What can we do to adjust for this? Uh, that's a new cool feature. Okay, we have to completely redo this. Okay, we only have 100 BB sims, so yeah, impossible to say what to do with this size, with this stack size. I disregarded that before, so I think against this stack, actually, jamming becomes more
Not going to check call lead too often here,
of an
but it is
option
something
than
that I
against
want to
a
do with
bigger
like
stack. He's snap all in, so that's probably not good for him.
definitely
But
turn
yeah,
kings
has
up
to call now.
and then some like aces with diamonds, something like that. It does look like a hand like this, which it often is, but since I have so much equity, but I'm not like can maybe barely not check call it.
Okay, what does his opponent has? He has nuts, so easy jam. Bad sizing tell. I mean, you shouldn't do that ever. Just have. I mean, he's probably not going all in ever with this timing with a bluff. So yeah, don't do that. Yeah, Phil gets unlucky.
Off. I'd rather take the tiny bit of fold equity. It is questionable though. I'm not positive about that line.
I'm also not positive about the line as mentioned.
One time, yeah, this is a really great stream. Thank you.
Very
I really
easy
appreciate
open.
it. I do get self-conscious about streaming because I don't have that much experience. A lot of great streamers are very well, I don't have a lot of experience. I can't keep up with all the action as you guys have seen. Especially like the technical perspective is taking up too much of my energy sometimes. But also a lot of great.
I think the sizing probably should be bigger. Let's see. Oh, it's a single raised pot. King, queen, 6. Let's do this one instead. Yeah.
Streamers have a lot of
Looks like he did not do his homework. I mean, it makes sense, as he said before, that it's not that important to learn the sizings for every situation. But on boards like this, you usually bet bigger because it's very drawy. You need to protect and stuff. So, yeah.
like energy and excitement, and I'm not a very excitable person, so I worry that make the streams a little too boring. But that's why I focus on.
Yeah, I think what he's just saying, that he's not an excitable person, and yeah, this makes him a very good poker player when he's not getting too emotional. And I think a lot of the streamers just put on a show, and they are actually not as excited as they pretend to be, because many of them are very good poker players, and why should they go that crazy if they win a pot or something? I'm also like him, probably even less excitable.
Strategy. That's what I'm. That's what I do, I guess.
Very interesting turn. Question is this a bet or should he check it back? And I'm again a bit lost, so let's pretend that he used the correct sizing, got called, and turn is a King of diamonds. So what do you think, chat? Do you want to be a part of this and give your prediction what he should do? That's a close one. I think he's probably not making a big mistake, whatever he does. I mean, he's not... His opponent's calling range definitely includes a lot of kings. Also some draws, but you don't want to push the draws out because you basically dominate them. So I say that's a check back, but that's just using common sense and I'm not a solver. So let's see what the real correct answer is. So the major sizing is 50% here, makes sense on a paired board because all the draws now are not worth that much anymore. So let's look into the hand we got, and that's a check always, so I got that one correct.
Easy check back here after betting the flop for, you know, kind
Phil
of value.
got that. I didn't thought that it's that easy. Bet river.
SW says, suggestion, you don't need to play so many tables that you time out and forget the action is, the action 2 tables is fine. Commentary is great, thank you. That's a really good point. I feel kind of compelled to play.
He might get bluffed off from other draws, but yeah, he's blocking a lot of the draws, so I think yeah, his snap fold makes sense.
Play more tables to help the numbers as I set these goals, you know. But I think you're absolutely right. If my commentary is suffering and my ability to interact with you guys is suffering, it's not worth the trade-off. I'm just so used to like 4+ tabling when I play. But yeah, there's no reason that I have to while I stream. Thank you for the constructive feedback. That helps. One time says only problem.
That's another tough spot.
Phil's voice is so soothing. I'm half falling asleep while 4-tabling PLO as an NL player. Well, thank you for 4-tabling PLO as an NL player. I assume maybe it's a battle with me on run it once. This hand is a very clear check call. I know it looks...
It appears a bit weak, but he easily can be wrong about that. I did not play any heads up, or at least almost no heads up for recently, and as already mentioned, I cannot play poker at the moment because, yeah, I mean, if you don't know about my problems with PokerStars, definitely watch my YouTube video about that, and yeah, also feel free to support me. Yeah, they basically are probably scamming me, but nothing decided yet. But let's look into this spot. So we got the good old rainbow king 10 deuce board. And let's do this instead. This hand. So he should be checking almost always, or always. His opponent should bet quite a bit. So is he having a check call with his hand? We have to change it a bit. Let's make this 4-4 jack ace instead. And seems like got a backdoor flush draw. And the backdoor flush draw type hands also do a lot of check raising, but also check calling. So yeah, you should mix it between calling and check raising.
Looks pretty weak, but 4 nut outs plus 2 near nut outs plus backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw is a slam dunk call.
Good turn. Is this a check on the turn? Is the next good question. So we just call. The turn is 7 hearts, I guess. And now our action is 50-50. Betting and checking. So I was a bit surprised, to be honest, that he snap checked. Okay. Now he checked. Okay, this is, yeah, although that's not, it's a bit bigger than 50%. And also, when your opponent is betting, he should use pot mainly. So this is the wrong sizing for this situation, but 50% is what he did, and now it's on us. And we should just call once we checked. See what Phil does.
CR Martin 11, Phil's making a great point. There are so many spots where the EV between sizes is negligible. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm making a great point. Thank you. But yeah, exactly. There are so many situations where
although pairing the
people
board,
are like, if you run it in a solver and you give it different sizing options,
I guess he's not check raising again. Because on a paired board, this would be very risky. He's also not blocking any full houses. Yeah, let's see what he does. Or is he, I mean, let's see if he's facing a bet. So
the slightly, like the worse sizing option in a lot of cases is basically the same EV or not much less. And in some cases better, actually.
Full pot size. This is painful. I mean, but yes, you have to call, but I feel very bad having to make this call. Putting my opponent on a full house, but yeah, having a hard time folding.
Because people aren't adjusting to it well. Interesting hand on the other table. I'll get to in a moment. It got less interesting, actually. And here I'm just going to fold. I don't think this is a spot where people end up bluffing a lot.
Okay, maybe he's a better player than I am. He's saying, okay, he's just not bluffing for this size and folds. It's also my feeling that he just has it. So yeah, maybe this is a great fold. Yeah, I think it's probably true. Especially he might have collected some reads already, and then with reads you can often make folds in this spot.
Because the blockers that they would use are like king deuce, and they might just show that down.
But it also might hurt if his opponent watching his stream when he sees folds like this. Yeah, continue.
So like my hand doesn't actually make a very good bluff catcher, even though it's a nut flush. Because actually, I think one of his more likely bluffs is the ace of hearts with like a missed straight draw.
So that's a good turn, giving him a rub.
Chess, lol, says, Phil, no matter what, in all caps, Phil, no matter what happens, be strong and keep pushing. There are a lot of people that believe in Rio and will support it unconditionally.
Yeah, yes, I would call.
We love you and be patient and believe in Rio. I believe in what we're doing. It is hard to, it's hard to compete with the big guys who have, you know, so many players.
Yes, nothing. I mean, he's the bottom of his range. Yeah, so I mean, I would bluff because I don't see myself winning on showdown, but on the other hand, I also don't see this bluff working very often. Maybe use a very small sizing to get, or like half pot, giving yourself a good price, and also look like maybe you picked up 2 pair or something on the river. So that's what I would do.
There's so much liquidity, but the community has been awesome, and I really appreciate the comment.
It seems like Phil uses a very big sizing. Oh, he
This is a
might
weird spot. I
want
have to bluff.
change
I
his
have
mind.
the absolute bottom of my range. I'm not sure what sizing I want to choose. I'm going to go with
I want
kind
to
of
go a
my
bit
smallest sizing
bigger.
to see if I could just make him fold some like 5, 6, 7 type hands.
Well played, sir.
But yeah,
Seems
thank
like
you.
thinks
I don't
in
mean to sound
similar
like, I
ways.
know that I sound like pessimistic. And a lot of things are going really well right now. But as you guys know, if you're playing on the site, our traffic is not where I would like it, and not like for my sake, for like revenue reasons. It's not where I would like it, so that players who show up have regular games that they can play.
Yeah, so Run It Once not doing well. I mean, this video's 2 years old or something. I wonder how they are doing right now. Let's try to find this out. I think that's the site. Poker Site Scout or Poker Scout, I think is the name. Yeah, Poker Scout is the name of the game. Let's see where Run It Once is in here. So let's search for it. Run It Once is not doing well at all. So he's probably losing money with his side. I mean, this is basically nothing. Oh, by the way, looks like PokerStars took first place again from GG, but yeah, this is nothing at all. Look at this. Ryan Once has almost no players. Place 63. Some very bad and unknown bullshit sites like Coin Poker having a lot more players than I didn't knew that they are doing that bad. Okay. So yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Phil, but yeah, I personally would also never have made my own poker site at that point of time, because it was already foreseeable that he probably would fail, because yeah, there were more and more regulations coming, and it's very hard for a newcomer to get into the business of the old guys unless you invest tons and tons of money. Because yeah, to be a successful site, you need traffic and you need players. And if you come to a site and it's just empty and nobody sits there and you can't play, yeah, it's just really hard to start off. I mean, he actually had a good chance, had a better chance than regular dudes or lesser known dudes like I am, because yeah, he has some reach already. He's famous, he's a good player, people know him, people like him. So, but even with that, it seems like he can't succeed. So yeah, but yeah, I think making the decision to build this site was more a decision of the heart, and not he was not using his brain so much there.
And keep coming back, which is what we need and what you guys have said that you need as players. Here we go for the 3-bet with a nice-ish double suited hand. Pretty good flop. I want to see what he had last hand. Kings. Makes sense.
That's a good flop.
I'm going to start by checking here. Actually, so I don't think this is GTO. I think
that's a very bad to check.
Flop.
Because yeah, ace high boards are a continuation bet almost ever. That's again a good turn. Not a great one, but yeah, after checking flop, I would now bet turn. I mean, you are blocking the possible straight. You are most of the time ahead. You don't get raised very often, so betting makes a lot of sense.
But I'd like to let him catch up with like a weak 2 pair, or like hit a board like this where he just decides to bluff with a really low equity hand.
Yeah, I think people are just scared on an ace high board to bluff, and often it's like very obvious. If the preflop aggressor checks the ace high board, they are usually very strong. So yeah, that's like, in my eyes or in my experience, like a very bad trap.
Nick and I are still deciding on how we're going to give away this 300 euro. Thank you guys for helping us get there.
Yeah, okay, now he has to check again. I mean, his opponent probably has nothing, and he now made the straight, but I think he's very low chance that he's getting paid. So yeah, he has to hope that his opponent is now trying to bluff at it, because yeah, now the board got very scary for aces and also for other stuff. And yeah, I would check again after choosing this line.
In views. Oh no, we lost the top spot. We're still giving it away, but I want the top spot back, so see what you guys can do. And now blocking 3 pair and the board running out in a way that's likely for him to bluff. I'm just going to check. He goes with half pot. I don't really see him calling with anything. I think I have the best hand like 80, 90, 95% of the time, or chopping. Probably not.
Seems a bit high.
I think I have the best hand almost always, but I don't think he can call with anything because he would have bet the flop with 3 deuce.
Ooh.
Glad I didn't check raise. So
Yeah, check raising made no sense. He got that right.
let's do, well, let's just guess a number.
I think that's probably not an open raise. This hand looks like insanely weak. But yeah, this is probably because he is talking to you guys while doing that. But yeah, this is, I'm 90% sure that this is not an open. But let's find out. So... using poker trainer again. Yeah, most of the time this hand is folding. And with his specific holding, let's turn this on. He should fold. Yeah, I was right.
We'll make it 1 through 4. And
by the way, no reason to make the mistake even bigger after raising this one. Now calling a 3-bet. Yeah. Yeah, this is the mistake I often was talking about. Pre-flop mistakes compound, and if you open a hand that you should not open, you often feel compelled to call a 3-bet and stuff, and then everything snowballs and you play a really big pot with a really marginal or bad hand, and yeah, often you will end up on the worse end and lose money. So yeah, be careful and cautious. This is a mistake that could be avoided very easily.
okay, guess a number 1 through 4. I've got it. Type it in as the number rather than spelling it out. Be easier for Nick to search through. This spot was maybe a fold pre-flop to the 3-bet, potentially actually an open fold. Now with some blockers, I could start.
Okay, Phil is also seeing it now, what I just said. Should he bluff at it is a more important question. And I would also... I think this actually is a good spot to bluff at. Will often get aces to fold, especially if his opponent is pre-betting not that wide. This seems like a great spot to attack.
Betting. I am going to.
I would choose a...
Like, you need some bluffs on this board that connect with not necessarily a 9, but like a jack, for example. Jack clubs, or like don't connect rather with those cards that you can continue bluffing. Now I'm going to
Interesting turn. Seems like he's giving up. Can't blame him for that.
check. And I don't think I can win. I think he'll bluff if he has like ace high clubs.
Also have to change our hand a bit to like ace. I'm able to get back to the video. It's some sort of misclick. Oh fuck. This is praios and armor. Let's see. Fuck. How was this video called? Run it once. Set up. Very sorry for that. That's a video, so just a small interruption, but yeah, I guess I said very sorry. I mean, he's blocking some of the full houses. He can get aces to fold still, so I think bluffing river would be okay. Okay, this would not have worked
he went for the
sure.
super slow play. I think that is okay. But
I think he choose a very good hand to slow play. If you crush the board very, very hard, the solver often suggests slow plays. Let's see what he had again. Where is it? Can we find it? This would be even more of a slow play if he also would be blocking a pair or has the ace high flush draw. I think this probably is closer to a bet, but with ace high clubs and or pair, it's a clear slow play to me.
He went for the super slow play. I think that is okay. But I actually don't really love it. I think when you have that much of a free roll, you want to get more money in now. You can slow play like
Let's look into this. There is our program for this task. Here it is. Let's bring it in. Let's get back to the board. Okay, it's a single suited board on a straight board. Queen 10-9 it is. He has ace, king, jack, 8, I think. Look at this, I was right. It should check always. And it should even check. It's like a 100% slow play. So I was like, his hand is good to slow play, but not the perfect candidate. But it seems like I was wrong. Partial at G2. And yeah, even if you can free roll people, you still don't want to bet it, as you can see, Phil. So we both learned something here.
he went for the super slow play. I think that is okay. But I actually don't.
I also wonder what the super slow play does. I think I also messed it up. Sorry. This is a 3-bet pot, so forgot what I said. Is this a 3-bet pot? No, it's not. So we have to do this process again and then look into it. Yeah, this is a 100% continuation bet. Let's see what we can do to not make it a 100. Oh, I mean, he has everything. Great redraw, flush redraw. And this is not considering slow playing. What is if we have this one? Even then, it's not slow playing. So yeah, Phil is right. I'm wrong.
don't really love it. I think when you have that much of a free roll, you want to
Yeah, it probably makes sense to not slow play after thinking about it and seeing the solution, because this is a board where you hit it quite a lot, but you also have like kings or aces without a straight. And does it even make sense what I'm going to say? Not really. Yeah, forget about it. I think, in my mind, I think it makes sense to slow play hands like this. But yeah, for some reason the solver does not do it. Let's cross check. I'm shocked that we should never slow play that. 100 BB, raise, re-raise, call. We just want a straight board. That's one. Let's see. Ace, king, jack, 8. Fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. Yeah, seems like PLO trainer is agreeing with solution of PLO vision. So yeah, I'm wrong. You should always bet this hand.
I get more money in now. You can slow play some nut straights that don't have the additional equity. And then you still are covered on board changing turns and rivers because you also check call with like a nut flush draw, or check call with ace king ace, like ace king with an ace of clubs, and then the jack rolls off. So you can still connect with all those cards. This hand I think is just barely good enough to call a 4-bet.
That's another interesting spot. Let's look into this too. Ace, king, 5-7. I think it's definitely call. Not even close, I say. Yeah. As you can see, it's not close. Yeah, you would lose a lot more than folding, so it's not barely good enough. It's easily good enough.
And now I'm in a terrible spot. It's problematic because his 4-betting range is going to be ace-ace heavy, but this hand does really well against non-ace-ace, like really, really.
This really is a terrible spot. I agree. This is a horrible spot. That's the closest to the thing we got, and we got ace king 5-7. Although we have to change it a bit because this has backdoor straights, which you actually don't have. Can we do it? It's hard to do it. But this is 7-8. 7-8 also would have some backdoor straights, but some better ones. But let's make it this one. And we should never have this. So let's make it... Looks like this is a check. I mean, that
really well.
I think you already knew that this probably is a check, but what do we do if we face a bet? That's the real question. The pot should be the main sizing. And with no backdoors, we fold, and with our hand, we would get it in. But yeah, terrible spot, as already mentioned.
He checks back on king, queen, jack, which is interesting. I think aces probably still have to go with their hand. So I actually think he might have like a double suited rundown. Like
Aces have to go with their hand. Can we go back? Yeah, we can. So do aces have to go with the hand? I think so. Yeah, he's correct about that.
like Queen Jack 10 9. I'm just gonna be done with this hand because I just think he has something good here almost always. If he doesn't, it's because he has like
I think it's
5, 6, 7, 8 maybe.
he has a decent chance that he's not that
I guess he
strong.
could have Ace Queen Jack 8 double suited and would play it this way, but I don't want to go for value with King 5
I think
on
he
this board.
plays it great.
And I don't quite.
He's ahead. Let's see what he
I
got.
don't quite know what I'm going to do to a bet. Bottom 2 is usually going to be a check back and easy check back on the turn.
Oh, that's
Don't get carried away and
very annoying that they don't show what he got. This would be interesting. Probably some sort of middling rundown or something.
Going for protection. I know it's a game where it's easy to get drawn out on, and every hand has a bit of equity, but you can really get yourself in trouble, value cutting yourself when you go for protection too often. And really, what you do is you open yourself up to check raises, and maybe if you have been watching earlier in the stream, you see me make some check raises that I think other people don't make. I think it's really important to be making check raises like that against people who are just protection betting way too much. All right.
Good point, Phil. So what he basically said is make exploitable adjustments against people who also are not balanced well. And yeah, everybody knows that. Check call.
Looks like we've announced the winner.
Or can we also check raise? This is a single raise pot. Unpaired 9-6 4. As this is the closest we get to the real situation. 6-7 Queen 10. Should check. That's what he did. What we did. And if we face a bet, we are supposed to call. Raise some. When we got the flush draw, and we don't got the flush draw. Could also bluff some with having a heart in our hand. In this case, it would be a spade. Oh, he has a spade, but with the backdoor flush draw, we are just calling. So my intuition with check call was correct. Let's see what Phil does.
This hand's good enough to call. Pretty good turn for.
Very good turn. Call again, I guess.
For me, especially if he's going to be protection betting 2 pair, like all 2 pair, a very easy call, and like doing pretty well.
3-5 got there. That's about it. I think he has to value bet now. Opponent might also easily put him on a busted draw. Call with verse. He will most of the time not bet unless he has 3-5, maybe. So yeah, I like a bet.
Metla head, are you an INTJ personality? I don't know. I like have taken a I think
his sizing sucks. He should bet bigger, but yeah, no idea.
potting here is a little bit thin, but I think it is a good enough hand to pot
3/4 quarters is what I would have done.
with. Actually, it definitely is. I could have potted there. Maybe I should have.
Okay, he also realizes that betting bigger is the way to go. That's an easy open.
Because just the way the hand played out, he's not going to have better, especially the way he plays, or has played a couple hands. I've taken like, the stupid 15-minute version of those personality tests, I think as INTP. But I don't know how accurate those are.
Is this hand an event? That's a very good question. And the answer is, I am not sure. I am completely unsure about that. And we got no chat today, so just some lurkers or nobody watching. So I say it is so close. Let's say it's a fold, but yeah, might be wrong. Can easily be wrong. That one. So 6-6-7 queen. You definitely don't make a huge mistake, whatever you do. Rainbow is a fold. And we got a bad suit, so let's see where the bad suits are. Here. So it's not even that close, it's a call.
K Not Low says, can we find out the hand he 4-bet you? Oh, okay. Did I win at Showdown with my Ace King 5?
Oh, he actually shows the hand now.
Yeah. Okay. He 4-bet with aces.
He had aces. Why is he not betting the flop? That's definitely a mistake. And yeah, okay, Phil won because he hit 2 pair on the river. I didn't recognize that.
Ace, ace, double suited, diamonds and hearts. I think he probably can go with it on the flop. You can see the board right here is King, Deuce, Queen. SPR was like 1.5 or a little more than 1.5. It's definitely a tough spot.
Check call, I say. The play. Pretty sure about that.
This is a tough spot as well. I'm gonna call, but it's not a great spot. I think he played his hand reasonably for sure, but I think he could potentially just bet and go with it on the flop.
That's a really annoying one. What do you do? Pays a bet. I have no clue what you would do if you face a bet here. That's why we bring in the great round ones yellow vision. So it's a single raised pot. The board is queen. That's a straight board, sorry. Queen 8-9. It sucks that you can't change it in hindsight. I think this needs to be changed. So we got queen 6-6-7. If we face a bet, we should call. And that's a 7. Or some random suit. And we should check again. He faced a small bet, correct? I think so. We should call again. Into pair. Sucker, straight draw. No flush draw. Yeah, I think against a small bet we have to call again. Was it a small bet though? Let's go back and
Reasonably
rewatch.
for sure, but I think he could potentially just bet and go with it on the flop.
Yeah, no. The river. We want to bluff catch and check call, I said.
Board has run off pretty well. Unfortunately, we block a lot of the hands that can call us. I'm just going to go for a small bet.
Okay, that's also smart. Guess he's having two
and I mean, this
sixes in
hand
the
is
hand.
like worth a small bet. It's not worth a huge bet. But he is betting turn with Jack 10 basically always, and probably the second nuts pretty often too. So
Oh, that's a
we
nice
essentially
hand.
have the nuts there. But I just think that he often has a one pair hand, and I want to try to get a call from a one pair hand.
I think he's not getting called by a one pair hand very often.
So I think he might 3-bet a little bit wider in this splash pot because he thinks I'm... actually, it shouldn't matter too much because I'm opening most hands anyways.
What is the standard sizing on a board like this? Interesting question. Let's find out. Is it bigger than 50%? Yes, it is. I suspected that, but I wasn't
But I
sure.
think this hand's good enough to bet flop with. Ace King and a gut shot. Weakish backdoor flush draw. And this is the kind of hand that I think people bet very often when they're like those protection-oriented players.
And that has to be a tough spot. According to the solver, you shouldn't be the protection-orientated guy and should check even when you got a flush draw.
It's an okay spot to do so because he can fold queen 5.
Not according to the solver, as already said, but yeah, hard to see that. I mean, I might have been betting as well, being in this spot, but yeah, the solver think it's incorrect. Yeah, I am not sure. I mean, you probably get to fold a lot of things, and you can take the free shot on some rivers. If you get check raised, you obviously are in a terrible spot. You don't want this to happen, but it's also not happening that frequently. So yeah, I think a bet is not that bad, despite the solver saying something else.
He can call with queen jack 10. And my hand doesn't have a lot of river playability. So I think going forward is fine. There's actually the added incentive of the 10 euro in splashes there. Julio Jim, hey Phil, did anyone accept your PLO challenge? I mean, whoever this gentleman is, Ben P, is playing me heads up at 1K. I think there were a couple of people that reached out to me that wanted to play, who couldn't play quite yet. I guess I'm gonna wait for. I don't want to say good game if he's just coming right back. So, but if that is the end of our match today, Ben, good game, mystery Ben.
Yeah, like the video, Phil, as always, played very well, but you can see even one of the greatest heads-up players makes a lot of mistakes according to the solver. So yeah, a lot of things to be learned. And yeah, you cannot figure this stuff out on your own, so you need additional software. Yeah, feel free to use one of my referral links. But yeah, signing off. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Yeah, good luck at the tables. Bye bye.